Hello everyone. Today I'd like to continue talking about tracking. And so we talked about these wearables, right? We can even do, and these wearables or these devices allow us to track our DNA and to see if we have a potential, I don't know, infection, disease, etc. And so we can even do video conferences later on in the future. We'll be able to with artificial intelligence doctors, which will allow us to, make suggestions to meals, to do things based on an infectious disease that we might have, and even send medications via drones. And although this sounds far-fetched, it's more likely to happen than not in the future. And so, as a summary, we can monitor our DNA before disease happens, before disease becomes acute, like cancer. We can diagnose infections. Our car seat can tell us if we have an irregular heartbeat. A breathanalyzer can tell us about our immune response. Um, our keystrokes can tell us about if we have Parkinson's or multiple sclerosis. Our doctors will access information before patients even arrive, leading to reduced medical errors, etc. All can give us a decade extra of life. We can also eat less animal protein, exercise, as well as do cold and heat exposure. So there's many ways that we can do it, and this can also give us extra 5 to 10 years, and that's already 15. And then an extra 10 to 40% shown in mice, in animal studies, healthy animal years. So if we say, let's say 10% of that, that's even if we take the lower portion, that's 8 years in humans with molecules. So 23 years in total we can potentially expand. And in 3 decades, there will be molecules to reset our epigenome with molecules, and we can destroy senescent cells. There's going to be better vaccines. We'll be able to replace organs or grow new ones, for example, in farm animals, or using 3D printers and cellular reprogramming. And this can give us an even more time, like an extra decade. And so in total, we can potentially live to 113. And if we live longer, we can see even more radical advances. So essentially, for each month you stay alive, you can get, right now, you get a week of life. It's like a 1 to 4 ratio. Well, in 40 years, that can be 2 weeks. In 80 years, it can be 3. And then things can get interesting. So John Coleman is the longest lived person. She lived literally to 122. But soon, no. Soon we'll be able to even exceed that. And so one third of David's colleagues in the book actually take metformin or an NAD booster. Some take low doses of rapamycin. There's literally conferences held on this weekly. And so this is a growing field. And many worry about overpopulation. In fact, David's son Alex worries about things like social justice and all that. The problem is this pessimistic view can actually cause more problems than good. And David explains why in the book. We shouldn't really worry too much about the overpopulation issue. So it's important to think exponentially, right? Like Einstein invented the speed of light in 1894, we had quantum mechanics in 1931, the internet in 1990s. It's more important to think exponentially than in a linear fashion, as these estimations that I made are based on exponential growth.